he would bark at people, he lunged at people, we couldn't have people over. It just unlike any other golden retriever we've ever had. I was afraid with delivery people and kids next door would just run in our yard, and I was just petrified that he was going to hurt somebody.
Manners, self-control, impulse control, not part of his vocabulary, and we were raised. At times I felt like I was truly going to go insane. I thought the dog was just going to drive me insane. Ace, before training, was probably like the poster child of reactive dogs. I felt like a leaf could blow across the road and he would bark, lunge, react to it. It was horrendous. I was like, all right, we gotta figure something out because this ain't gonna work.
I had a friend recommend a trainer, and I used her, and it didn't work. It was hell. I mean, it was not fun. So we definitely needed some help.
I went from this dog where I felt like I was wrestling a bear just to try to go to the bathroom, to I can, take hiking on me now and not have to worry about him be like, oh, a squirrel, I'm gonna take off and go chase after it. And they would just help me understand, like, this is what he's been taught, this is what you need to expect from him, this is what he expects from you, and just how to work through that process and get him to understand that all the new stuff and rules he learned there applied here at home now, and he couldn't go back to his old crazy ways.
They more or less trained me along with Teddy. I worked mostly with Colin, and I just love him. He's so funny. He cared about Teddy, and he cared about me, and he wanted me to succeed, and he did everything to help me succeed. So just showed me what to do and how to do it, and they just don't come in, okay, here's your dog, we're gonna train him, and then never hear from you again. That's just not how they are.
I fully believe that the training has helped me and Ace have a stronger bond. I can do so much more with him now. I'm not constantly stressed and worried about, oh, if I take him outside, is there going to be someone out there and is he going to go crazy, or is there going to be a dog and he's going to go crazy? I feel like both him and me can just kind of relax now.
I can't just say enough good things about them. And I remember on our first field trip, I was petrified to go to Lowe's, and he was good. He was fine. I was just like, oh my gosh. I actually, when we left, I gave Colin and Jimmy a hug, and I could have cried, and I might have a little bit.
We all loved Ace before, but I think we love Ace even more now that he's not a chaotic mess. My wife can handle him easier when I'm not home now. Beforehand, he loves my toddler. My toddler loves him. But beforehand, he would get so out of control, they couldn't do anything together. He'd accidentally knock her over, she'd get upset. But now, he'll lay there, she can walk up to him, pet him, tell him he's a good boy. Or sometimes she even likes to throw his ball and he'll go chase it and all that. And I can't even remember the last time he accidentally knocked her over, because he just seems so much more calm and collected around her now that it's not an issue.
They don't just finish your training and you're done. You can text, they text you right back. I'll do something great and I'll text her. I'll come home and I'll tell my husband, Teddy did this, and he'd be like, oh, okay. It was like, I want to tell someone that's like excited, so I'll text Yana and I'll say, Teddy did this, and she would text me right back. That's great, I love to hear it. It's like you don't just disappear after your training. It's just so nice because they treat you like family. And I have the confidence to walk into Lowe's and to have friends over that I know he's not going to do anything because of the training he received.
I've gotten compliments about Ace, out and about. I've had people tell me, oh, he's such a well-behaved boy, or that's such a good dog. And I'm like, the canine guide, they're the ones you need to talk to. And friends and family who they knew the Ace before and they've met the Ace after, they're just like, holy moly, he's a new dog. And so I would absolutely recommend Canine Guide.
I would recommend. Okay, Couple
Check
points.
out my Google review.
Couple points. One, I do think the like enjoy your dog tagline is very apt, and like that's the whole goal. And I do like my like breakthrough moment was once being on a walk, and it was very much a working walk. Like we were practicing heel. It was early when she had come home. And it was a lot, for me to be constantly remembering and monitoring. But I remember like one specific walk, we just walked through the neighborhood, we got home, and I was like, that was fun.
So I have Aurora. She is a silver Labrador Retriever. She's very crazy, an outgoing dog. But since doing training, she has really calmed down, and she's a very different dog now. Midnight, I got her 2 years ago. She's a black Labrador Retriever. She's the opposite of Aurora. She's very sensitive and very mild-mannered. And we started her in training about 2 years. I think it's been about 2 years now. And she's become a completely different dog as well. Before having Midnight and Aurora trained, I would see other people walking their dogs, and I would wish that my dogs were as well behaved as the other dogs walking on the street. So I was realizing I was having issues that I could not keep under control myself. So I wanted to look elsewhere where I could get the help that I really needed with both of them. I tried, and once I went to them, I had regretted going there because I did not like their way of training. And then I just kept searching for a place to find better training. And I think that was when I reached out to Canine Guide. So Aurora was really bad with jumping at the door, jumping on people, begging at the table almost every time we sat down to eat a meal. One of the absolute worst things that she was bad at is leash pulling. That was terrible because there was a few times she made me fall when I walked her. And as soon as that happened, even one time in the wintertime, I had taken her outside because this was before we had a fence. And I had her out there and she was going after something. And I almost fell in the snow and almost hurt myself. So those couple times was when I knew, okay, I need to start looking into something. Even with having kids like with Addie now, when she was still little, I wanted to make sure that they were well trained, so they would be well behaved around her and not go after her or things like that.
I knew I wanted a dog that I could take wherever and not have to worry about how it would interact with people on a leash or not on a leash. And one rainy night in February, we went to downtown Cuyahoga Falls, and I spent about an hour walking around an intersection with her not on leash, and I was nervous as hell, right? It was the first time not on leash, and then after, around traffic, around people, around distractions that she wouldn't see in the house or in the neighborhood, and she was great, right? She was at my hip, she listened to every command, and that was when it was, oh, cool, we can do even more than this with the dog. And that's when we started working on scent work and letting her roam half a mile away and calling her back and tone training. And so the breakthrough moment for me was the time we went in a place that almost made my heart jump out the chest with a puppy.
And then I feel like they're very well behaved more now with my family. Like when somebody comes through the door, I don't have to worry about them jumping up and getting all crazy. I just tell them place, and they know what to do. They go to place, people can come in, no jumping. Everything is a lot smoother. It's not crazy anymore. And then as soon as I tell them free, then I let them go and, I let them go and see everybody, but they still got to follow the rule. So training with Canine Guide has been an absolutely great experience for me. They have turned my dogs around 100%. I wished I would have found them in the very beginning.
I've already told many people, like, look, you need help, go to Canine Guide. They know what they're doing.